The second phase or era of creation is when the dark and light spheres come into contact. The darkness wants to infiltrate the light, but the Father of Greatness creates the Mother of Life, so-called, who in turn sends original man, which is a kind of spiritual form of man, to infiltrate the sphere of darkness and destroy it from the inside, like a Trojan horse, if you will. Once the King of Darkness and his offspring are defeated, original man, together with the Mother of Life, create the universe from the bodies of these dark beings and the light that original man had sneakily placed within them. So, as a result, the universe that we know consists both of the stuff of darkness, that is, the bodies of these dark beings, which is mainly the material aspect of the world, and also the stuff of light, things like the human soul or the planets and stars in the sky.
We talk about electromagnetic energy at the end of the day. So the interesting thing about Manicheanism is that he talks about this very specific thing. So this angel told Manicheanism, it says here, under the beliefs of Manicheanism, there existed a powerful good force, God, which opposed a semi-eternal evil force, Satan. Manicheanism, and this is not quite correct, it's just an evil force, it's just the counter of this righteous God force. Manicheanism is an agnostic religion that focuses on salvation by knowledge. The battle between God and Satan created humanity, the world, and the soul as a byproduct. Humans serve as the battleground, as the soul is believed to contain both the light of God and the dark of Satan. The collision between the light of God and the dark of Satan is the main conflict of Manicheanism. This is all said to begin with the creation of the universe in 3 phases. Now, these phases are very, very specific. And all of this resembles the whole idea of fallen angels. When you go into, as I mentioned, into some of the literature related to the Tuatha De Danann and these elves in Nordic mythology, you see the fallen angel idea brought over and over and over. It's the same thing. The first creation began with a world in which good and evil existed separately. Good was found in the world of light. Now, this is very important. There's a world of light. Now, what are they telling us here? That this is Alfheimer. We switch back. So I'm going to be switching back and forward. I hope this is not very confusing, but I'm trying to make a point here. We're talking about the same thing. So this Alfheimr is the home of the elves. What it says in this Prose Edda, this by Snorri Sturluson, what I'm saying is the ancient folklore who was brought forward by generations, relates in the stanza 17 as the first of a series of abodes in heaven. This whole idea that there are multiple heavens, there is Asgard, and there are all these little bubbles, as I said before, these quote-unquote simulations, if you want to call them, these pocket realms, they seem to be a real thing, also as explained through all the states of consciousness. Many places are there and glorious. That which is called Alfheimr is one where dwell the peoples called light elves, but the dark elves dwell down in the earth. So the light elves are in this Alfheimr, the elves dwell down in the earth, and they are unlike in appearance, but by far more unlike in nature. The light elves are fairer to look upon than the sun, but the dark elves are blacker than pitch. So, in our modern altered states of consciousness, we have this appearance of quote-unquote light beings, and then we have the counter, which are the quote-unquote shadow people. And now, when you think about all of these things that are happening, we go back to Manicheanism. What does it say here? The first creation began with the world of good and evil, the world of darkness, the world of light, Alfheim. The world of light was ruled by the Father of Greatness and 5 divine attributes of light called Shekinahs. Evil resided in the world of darkness, ruled by the King of Darkness. Over time, the world of darkness became aware of the existence of the world of light. The world of darkness became jealous and greedy and attacked the world of light. The Mother of Light sent her son, original man. How would you see the whole Jesus story playing out? To fight off the attacking powers of darkness and the demon of greed. So it's the whole idea of the fallen angels. The 5 Shekinahs provide the original light with the 5 shields of light, so on and so forth. So when you go into Manicheanism, I don't think it says right here. I'm going to try to find it. All right, so I found it here in Wikipedia. I have all of these texts that I like to use. I have them written down somewhere. As I said, I've been writing a book. The book is going to be called The Religion of Light. It has to do with Manicheanism and all of these perennial philosophy and religions just put together. But this is the important thing about Manicheanism right here. The third creation is a part of the process of creation that happened. Great demons called archons, in Barconai's account, are hung out over the heavens, and then the Father Greatness begins the third creation's light. Is recovered from out of the material bodies of the male and female evil beings and demons by causing them to become sexually aroused in greed towards beautiful images of beings of light, such as the third messenger and the virgins of light. So the whole idea of procreation through some form of technology, or whatever you want to call it, when you think about the ideas of Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden and the creation of humans as being some sort of a creation from these non-physical entities, and then you bring all the whole alien literature into it, and the whole extraterrestrial phenomena, everything starts coming together. Now, as I said, this is someone from the 3rd century from Babylon who met an quote-unquote angel, and the angel told him very specific things about the creation of earth. And all of these things are in the apocryphal scriptures, the ones that the Bible and the Christians thought these are too hardcore, this is too weird, this is too crazy, we're gonna put it out of the way and we're gonna keep the canonical scriptures. But all of this is written also in the apocryphal scriptures in different ways. So, however, as soon as the light is expelled from their bodies and falls to the earth, some in the form of abortions, the source of fallen angels in the Manichean myth, the abortions, the undesired creation of this merging of the world of light and the world of darkness, the evil beings continue to swallow up as much of it as they can to keep the light inside them. So this is the fuel that these imperfect fallen angel beings need, this fuel of light which remains in the material bodies of creation. So this creation is I talked about this when I do like a full compilation of the apocryphal scriptures. I'm gonna link it somewhere in the screen if I can. It's talking about the same thing. So there's some fuel, there's these demons, these fallen angels, these beings which might not be wholly evil, but just trying to create a different thing, a different form of existence, need this light, which is trapped in the material body. So this is what is saying right here. This results eventually in the evil beings copulating and producing Adam and Eve. The Father Greatness then sends Jesus the Splendor to awaken Adam and to enlighten him to the true source of the light that is trapped in his material body. So Jesus is sent to tell Adam that he is a creation from some evil beings called the fallen angels or the dark beings or whatever you want to call them. Adam and Eve, however, eventually copulate and produce more human beings, trapping the light in bodies. So the creation of humans is trapping this more divine essence, this energy, these light particles, if you want to call them, into human bodies. So this is the whole idea. The original sin is just trapping these aspects of divinity in material human bodies who don't remember anything about the real source and the real divinity, and they are under the watch of these quote-unquote archons or the fallen angels or these masters of the simulation which wanted to create something very specific. The appearance of the prophet Mani was another attempt by the world of light to reveal to mankind the true source of the spiritual light imprisoned within their material bodies. So now this is a whole narrative, and even if we just want to take this as fiction, which most of us do, you have to acknowledge that this is quite a complex story. This is not just like basic duality of good versus evil, we have to be righteous. No, this is a complex story that it is detailed in different scriptures from the apocryphal, from Manicheanism, and now we're gonna see in Nordic literature as well. So how does this information come about? By people meeting quote unquote angels who tell them about all of this, and this whole story between the world of light and world of darkness is the fallen angel story, on and on and on and on, and we are seeing the whole picture to it. Now, the interesting thing now is that we have all of these stories in ancient philosophies, and then we have the modern altered states of consciousness, And I'm gonna bring this chart right here that I use quite often. So now this is no longer stories, this is not scriptures, this is not Manicheanism, this is not science fiction, this is current research. In 2000, after 2010, I don't know when this was made, I've been using this chart a lot. It's quite famous, this chart now. So these are the near-death experience items. I've been talking about near-death experience and altered states of consciousness in this channel. All right, so as a bit of a summary, as a bit of a conclusion, the point that I want to drive here is that we have this very complex story that is mainly, I find Manicheanism amazing because it talks about very specific themes, the idea of light particles, the idea of matter and flesh, as opposed to spirit in a more pragmatic way. As I said in this channel, I have videos on quantum physics and how it seems that the building blocks of reality are photons, are just light particles or electromagnetic energy creating things. And when you go deep into how matter is created, you realize that everything is these packets of energy. So when he talks about the world and reality being created by these light particles, it's very interesting. So he meets an angel. He has an altered state of consciousness. So what's happening is that people are channeling, people are having these altered states of consciousness, these modern altered states of consciousness. When I say altered states, what I mean is near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, spiritually transformative experiences, where people go into transcendental experiences where they meet beings, and all of this is recorded and is being seriously studied by science in the scientific consensus statement for the future research of near-death experiences, spearheaded by Sam Parnia. It is stated right there. People are having a deep live review and they go to a place that they perceive as quote-unquote home. And the research on Big Pharma, it talks about the quote-unquote entities which communicate with people. So this is research. This is no longer just the mythology that we're talking about. This is no longer these crazy stories. And as one of the points that I want to argue is that, you find this world of light in Manicheanism, in the Apocryphal, you find it in Buddhism. I haven't gone a lot into Buddhism, I will in the future. You find it there, and now, as I've seen, you find it in Norse mythology. Even some people in the comments were saying, oh, this is just a few, and it's the main criticism to this idea of Alheim, of the realm of the elves or the light elves, is that it's just a basic influence of Christianity. And as we can see, and I'm making the point here, this is not a basic story, this is not basic dualism. This is a very complex story which involves the intermingling of these gods or demigods or aliens or whatever you want to call them, or these light beings or these light elves or these whatever you want to call them, with humans into creating the world. You go into the Sumerians and all of that. I'll be going into that in the future, but it's the same story which repeats. And now we have the new evidence, the new research, where people go into a near-death experience and they talk about going into a quote-unquote realm of light, into realities or heavens or places which are vibrant and which are made of light. And they meet quote-unquote light beings who tell them you're not ready to come to this place, which feels like home according to the study, the published research from Sam Parnia's consensus statement for the future research of NDEs, which states that people perceive a place like home. So it's all a little bit convoluted, but it's talking about the same thing. It's no longer just mythology, it is research, it is scientific research, and it repeats across cultures. So I'm going to be delving into this in the future. These are the points that I want to drive in. Thank you so much for watching. If you find any value in the content that I'm putting forward, please consider supporting the project through Patreon on the links below. Likewise, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, or follow me on other social media so more people have access to this information. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the next one.